Hey everyone, I hope everyone is having a good week so far. Just getting started, there were quite a few questions to choose from for the Unit 3 essay video from the Global Communications textbook. And the question that I chose to talk about and discuss on a little bit was what was the Marshall Plan? And this question comes from chapter 7 of the textbook. I vaguely remember reading about the Marshall Plan before taking this course, but after seeing the textbook, after reading about it a little bit in the textbook, I decided to do some more research on it, do some outside reading on it. So this is why I chose the question. The Marshall Plan, which was also known as the European Recovery Program, was a U.S. program that provided aid to parts of Europe after the devastation of World War II. And this plan was created in order to create stable conditions for the people living in Europe. So Europe was somewhat destroyed by the years of conflict during World War II. A lot of people had been killed or wounded in some parts of Europe. Was on the verge of famine because agriculture production had been kind of messed up by the war. Many survivors of the war were either homeless, hungry, or unemployed. Um, Also, transportation infrastructures like railroads, bridges, and ports had taken some extreme damage during some of the airstrikes of the World War II, and some shipping fleets in some countries had sunk. And the Marshall Plan, this all took place between 1948 to 1951. The plan was created by Secretary of State George C. Marshall after he came up with the idea that the United States um, should finance a self help program for the Europeans. After that, Congress authorized the establishment of the European Recovery Program, and it was signed into law by President Harry Truman in 1948. Um, the main purposes of the war was to encourage European production, um, promote adoption of policies that will lead to stable economics like the needs for food, medicine, and housing, as well as to take measures to increase trade among European countries as well as between Europe and the rest of the world. And also, the plan was created to create a common market free for national trade barriers. It was also kind of a way. It's also created to kind of block the spread of communism. I don't know if it was created to block the spread of communism, but it kind of did. Um, Going into a little bit about communism, some people believe that the execution of the Marshall Plan was one of the key starts for the Cold War between the United States and its European allies and the Soviet Union. Um, which had effectively taken control of Central and Eastern Europe and established its satellite republics as a communist nations. Around 13 to $14 billion was distributed over 4 years to assist 16 countries like Britain, France, and Belgium, and doing so to restore industrial and agricultural production, establishing financial stability, and expanding trade. Kind of like what I said before about the whole purpose of the plan. Um, Europeans, the Europeans decided to, the Europeans decided how to divide the American aid among the 16 countries. Sorry. After doing some outside research, I found on history.com that not all participating countries received the same amount of money, this part I found kind of interesting because I thought you could just evenly divide it among all the 60 countries, but they didn't. Countries like Italy, who have fought with Axis powers with Nazi Germany, and places like Switzerland, who remained neutral, received less assistance than those countries who fought with the United States and the Allied and other Allied powers. The Marshall Plan was very successful, though the Western European countries involved experienced a high rise in their gross national products, 15 to 25% during the 4 year period. Um, the plan was the plan seriously helped and gave rise to the rapid renewal of the Western European chemical engineering and steel industries. Trade and exports also increased higher than they also increased because they were higher than what they were before the war. People were able to return to work, and on the political side, communist parties kind of lost influence pretty much everywhere. The Marshall Plan had an impact on the political development of some European countries and the U.S. and Europe relations. And some people believe that the success of the plan and the trade relations led to the formation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So that's kind of it. That's all I have right now. Thank you for watching this Unit 3 video essay, and I look forward to you guys' videos and reading your guys' response. Have a good week.